In Genesis chapter 27, Jacob steals the firstborn blessing from his brother Esau. The firstborn blessing is the father's blessing that complements the birthright that Jacob has already weaseled out of Esau. The birthright is the rights of the firstborn, namely, a double portion of the inheritance and the right to become the family chief and priest. But now Jacob is aiming for the rest of the prize, the firstborn blessing. In this chapter, Jacob deceives his dad into giving him the firstborn blessing. Jacob's deception boils down to taking advantage of his father's poor eyesight by impersonating his brother Esau and thus stealing the blessing, as per his mother Rebekah's scheme. Needless to say, it's a rather dysfunctional family. Here's what we see in verses 22 to 24. So Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." And he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy, like his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. Then he said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He said, "I am." So Jacob approaches his father Isaac, who hears the voice of Jacob, but touches what he thinks are Esau's hands. It turns out that they've been covered with goat skins, to feel like his hairy brother Esau. Notice that Jacob flat out lies to his father. "Are you really my son Esau?" "I am." Jacob, whose name means deceiver, supplanter, heel catcher, is indeed a deceiver. He's a self-reliant individual. He's willing to lie to get what he wants. He relies upon his own abilities to achieve his goals. Here are 3 reflections to consider. Reflection number 1. God doesn't need our help to bring about his purposes. We need not resort to dishonesty, scheming, or manipulation to get what we want, or even to get what we think God wants for us. Reflection number 2. God is so awesome. He can take a dysfunctional family such as this, where the wife schemes behind her husband's back and the son lies to his father, and yet God can still bring about his purposes. Jacob is the ancient ancestor of Jesus. So despite the dysfunction, God is bringing forth his purposes. And then reflection number 3. God can use imperfect people. Jacob, despite his imperfections, will be used greatly by God. He will be transformed from a person who grabs a hold of the things he wants to a person who grabs a hold of God. His name will be changed from Jacob, which as stated earlier means deceiver, supplanter, heel catcher, to Israel, one who struggles with God, meant in a very positive sense. And from Jacob, from Israel, will come 12 sons. And from these 12 sons will come the 12 tribes of Israel. And from one of these tribes, Judah, will come the Messiah, Jesus. So if God can use Jacob, despite his imperfections, he can also use us. Let's be those who steer clear of dishonesty, scheming, and manipulation to achieve our goals. Let's be those who trust God to bring about his purposes in his way and in his time. And let's be those who, despite our imperfections, are open to being used by God to do special things. Thanks for listening.